My name is Nigel Quine. I run a company called Cuts Ice Limited. We are one of the largest manufacturers of a substance called e-liquids in Europe. E-liquids is a substance that's vaporized by electronic cigarettes. I've been in the industry for about 4 years, which for most industry is probably quite a short time, but for this industry is relatively long. My background is branding and marketing, so I didn't know anything about manufacturing, so obviously you can imagine there's quite a serious learning curve there. What I saw is basically a product that could reduce harm of smoking traditional cigarettes, and it became very viable about 4 years ago. So we started the actual manufacture of e-liquids about 2.5 years ago, 2 people, and now we employ 50 people, 8 scientists ranging from toxicologists to pharmacologists and other variety of different skill sets. We looked at working with firstly the BSI, as we see the BSI as the top, excuse me for using the phrase, but the food chain as far as standards are concerned, definitely in the UK and then now internationally. But also it's really not for the compliance level, but really for our internal product stewardship. It's an important part of the piece, the traceability and quality elements to it.
So what challenges as a small business are you facing?
Well, obviously there's the regulatory challenges, the notification process, and then obviously because it is a very young market, there's different levels of stewardship and performance and attitudes of different people. For us is obviously consumer confidence. I think for the European Commission it's for protecting the consumer. It's very important that we have these standards in place to give, as a badge, to show the consumers that we're operating at a certain level. Because internally you can do this, but in reality, the perception of the outsider, it's really by, obviously putting these things in place and demonstrating it in the way of a standard. What you don't want to do as an organisation is go do this and put the standard at once. So it's about weaning and integrating, and that was the important part of the piece. And for myself as a managing director, actually having the auditors in and going through the process with them, I actually learnt a lot about obviously my responsibility and then also about the responsibility of the management levels within the organisation. And it's very much an ongoing educational process. And we've got involved in standards because we want to utilise and learn from them. I know various people use them for different reasons, and obviously it's great to have the badge, but for us internally, that's the important part of the piece. We're definitely looking at getting involved in Entropy, because that seems like a good way of bringing everything together. And when we bring in new standards, we can obviously just plug them into it, essentially. So, and also I suppose it works as a form of kind of gap analysis and process and also the documentation side, which can be obviously quite time consuming. It kind of brings that together too. So I really think that's a valuable tool that we can utilise.
Okay, thank you.